Hi everyone!
Hi guys!
This is Jen.
And Will.
And it's my husband for anyone who's new. And we are at our new house today. It's our first video showing you guys our new place. And we're super excited. It took a long time for us to settle in, so apologies for lack of videos for about a week and a half. I'll do a house tour for you guys if you are interested as one of our next videos. But today we are sitting down and we're doing a video that I promised you guys that we'd do on my Instagram post. Our last one was a long time ago. Do you actually remember it?
I think it was about a year ago or so.
I think it was a bit more than that. But it was back in Australia. So it was like 2 years ago, and we have been kind of doing a series. I don't think I have done one on my channel for a long time. It's been more like tutorials and those kind of things. So very excited to answer some of your questions. And we got about 50 questions here. Obviously we will not be able to answer all of them.
We're not answering them all tonight.
But we'll do as many as we can. So thank you so much to all of you guys who posted a question. Hopefully this will not be too long, but this is heart to heart. So this is where we get really sincere with you guys and really real. So don't expect something that's like 5 minutes, obviously, probably like 10-15 minutes. We'll see how this goes. So Berry Silly Hearts Music asks, what are the most important things in maintaining a love relationship, especially for those whose partners are Koreans?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer to that because everybody's so different. Understanding the family's own heritage as well as the nation's general overall covering culture itself, I think that's going to be one of the key things.
If you're new to the Korean culture, it might take you a while to get accustomed to it, but I mean, if you guys are into K-pop and into Korean dramas and things, you might be a little bit familiar with it, but there is a bit of a hierarchical structure as opposed to the Western culture, so that is really important. I think that Koreans in general kind of think it's really important to honor parents, and also it depends on whether it's a girl to a guy or a guy to a girl, because the roles are really sort of distinct in Korean culture. You'd say that, right?
Yeah. Korea has been in existence for 5,000 years, and then they carried on the same culture for a long, long time. So there's going to be a huge gap between the culture that you're in, if you're coming from a foreign country, to the people who are really, really Korean. And also,
it depends.
It really depends.
It could
and
be
also,
a second generation, or
it's also
this
different
requires
culture.
like a whole video to talk about. I reckon maybe we should actually do a whole video talking about Korean marriage culture and things like that, because this is really complex, and we also don't want to generalize people because everyone's different. So it's a bit touchy. Korean culture in general kind of doesn't really explicitly say things in direct language.
Yeah, there's a lot of embedded meaning to even if you don't actually speak anything.
Yeah, and also someone could be saying something in Korean which means a completely different thing. So you have to sort of be able to understand what they're saying and work through those little communication cultural things. And just letting you guys know, we haven't read your questions beforehand. So second question is by 960609. If you were to change one thing or one moment that would make your relationship better, what would it be?
Well, there's a lot of different moments that I can think of. I'll change something about our wedding day. When Jen was having the bride makeup, I visited Jen because we were doing it in the same hairdresser, and I didn't get to say hello. And I think that scarred Jen for quite a bit. I think I want to change that altogether. Yeah, that. Say hello. I should have said hello, but I didn't. So yeah, I want to change that. And as I was saying this, to add the effect, at least just munching on that the toy that's
we got her a new toy. It's like it's a fake sneaker.
So what would you change, Jen? Come on. You're not saying anything.
I would change.
She would change me, I think. She would change me. I think if she wants to change something in this relationship, it's gonna be me. Replace me with something else.
No.
Like maybe Chanel bag or something.
What the heck? I would change. I don't know what I would change.
Yeah, she's so perfect. She doesn't need to change anything.
So you're asking me to change one thing about myself?
Yeah.
But the question was if you were to change one thing or one moment.
Yeah.
Not about yourself.
I've already said mine, so.
I think if I was born and raised in Korea, I kind of feel like maybe our relationship would have been easier. So.
Well, if I was born and raised in Australia, our relationship would have been easier.
No, but you were raised kind of in Australia.
So what are you saying? Are you
I'm
saying that I'm
saying
really Korean or?
Yeah, there's aspects of William that I never knew about him until we came to Korea. He became more Korean. I think it was like inside of him somewhere, and then it just sort of came out, especially
The DNA.
communication, like the way of communicating, not as direct, meaning something else, or
Well,
jumping ahead, don't you think?
yeah. But that's not something that you would change in this relationship.
Okay,
Yeah. I think you would change the photographer. Pre-wedding photo.
Oh, okay, yes. I would have changed definitely how I did our wedding. And if our photographers had come on time and all that stuff, I still think that it would have been. But guys, we recently did our redeeming remind wedding photo shoot
so
last
good,
week.
yeah.
It was actually so good. So I think if our wedding hadn't flopped in that aspect, we wouldn't have ended up doing this. So I'm grateful for that. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't really change anything. That's my answer.
Sure.
Next question.
Sure, the chance is going.
Maybe I will change my personality to be someone.
Major yes. Hi, my hairstyle, unsubscribing right now because you ruined my hair.
What the heck?
Anyway. I don't think you'll put that up, but anyway.
So this is from Rachel Lee 164. Jen, why did you start YouTube and what encouraged you to start? I started YouTube when basically I was in university and I started to develop a hobby for makeup, and I would do makeup on my friends. I would do my friends' makeup for, their birthday parties and 21sts, and my friends kept encouraging me to start a YouTube channel. And it was just a joke originally, so it just kept on going for about a year. And then I go to church, so as a Christian, I really believe in the Word of God and to use your talents and don't just, bury it underground, because they're gifts that God gave you and He wants you to use them. And so one day I sat down and just made a February favorites video on my iMac computer in my room, and I had no lighting and no equipment. I just used iMovie, which was on my computer, and that was my first video. So I just started like that, and I started because I really felt like I wanted to connect with people. Especially I wanted to share some of the makeup tips that I found worked for Asian faces, having done a lot of makeup on myself and on other people, and not finding any solutions out there at that time for Asian faces. It was all about like Caucasian makeup fitting onto the eyes of Asians, and I didn't really think that worked for me at that time.
She was always into drawing, and she was really good with choosing colors and designs, and she's really good with interior design as well. And then I have to say all the right things because this is your channel. So basically, I still remember how hard it would have been for Jen to keep going at the time, because she actually had no support from me.
It's really hard.
And there was a very limited resources because we were very young back then.
But I recently just hit 200,000 subscribers on my channel, and that was an incredible moment. So I just really want to thank you guys so much for all of your support throughout the years. It really has kept me going. So we both thank you a lot.
Thank you so much.
A.L asks, if you could go back to any time or era, what would it be? Love you, Jen. I love you too.
What, in our marriage or in this relationship?
Any time or era.
Any
time or era, even time of history.
I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know why I didn't know that this sort of question will come up, but I was thinking, I want to go back to my high school days.
Why?
I think back in the 90s, that's when all the amazing things started brewing. Like back then, Google did not exist. Back then,
so you're saying you would go and invest into Google shares?
Yeah, I'll probably come to Australia, and then I'll go to Jen, and she would have been about, I don't know, in her early teenagers, whatever, and I'll probably say to her, Jen,
don't go out with that guy.
Yeah, don't go out with those junkies, like those drug addicts and whatever.
What the
druggos and crazy people. Stay, intact. I got a lot of money because I just invested $20,000 in Google shares when they were 1 cent. I'll be a super billionaire by the time when Google hits $700 US.
This was a bad question.
I think I'll go back to my high school days. I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go back to I wouldn't want to go back to anywhere actually because I like myself now.
She's not.
As you guys all know, I had a pretty hard, life. I mean, it wasn't that hard, but I had a pretty, tough. I went through depression in high school and I went to like a very academic high school, so it was very stressful. I wouldn't go back to those days. I'm glad that I've gone through it, but I wouldn't go back. Andy Ismanewes asked, sorry if I said that wrong, what to do when you feel that your partner does not meet your expectations, and should you have expectations at the first place at all? It's hard
You can answer that one.
This is hard because everyone's still dealing with this. Even we still deal with this sometimes once in a while.
I have an answer to that. But
can I share what I recently sort of, and this is from a Christian perspective, so I'm sorry if you're not Christian and it doesn't really apply to you, but it would still sort of help you. No matter how much you try to win an argument or try to change your partner or try to get them to meet your expectation, ultimately the solution where you feel most at peace and when things start to actually turn the table to actually become the way that you want it to be is, I think, the moment when you lay down your rights in the relationship. Like, it's the same with anything in life. If you're holding on to your rights, this is my right, this is what I deserve to have, life just becomes so hard, because you're always justifying things, you're always arguing, and you're always hating on situations, hating on people, this is not what it should be, they did the wrong thing. But when you just lay down your right, as a Christian, this is what your mandate is, because that's what Jesus Christ did. When he came, he laid down his rights as King of Heaven, as the Son of God, most royal being. He laid down all of his rights to come and live on this earth and die for us, and he had to die for our sins when he was perfect. He lived a perfect life. So although it's really hard to do all the time, it's good to sort of come back to this, every once in a while and just learn to lay down what you think you deserve, and then things just become so easy. It's just no matter what happened, nothing was your fault because you laid down all of your right anyway. So I think for me, that has been the key for not having your expectations met. I don't think it's wrong to have expectations because you need to have healthy expectations. For example, you want a person who treats you well, who doesn't abuse you. You need to give each other room to be who you are meant to be. So accept the other person for who they are. It's almost like magically, miraculously, things will start to change because the person will feel the grace that they feel from you. I feel like when we start to fight less for what we think we deserve, that's when the things start to come to us.
Just adding to what Jen has been saying, one condition that we need to have in order to make it perfect. If you are only doing it on your own and the other person is not doing the same thing for you, then this is not the right solution, because you are literally trying to lay down your own right, whereas the other person will always talk about their rights. So you need to have that balance together. So if each other together, they are looking to the right direction and trying to lay down their own rights and trying to serve one another, I think that's going to be a very healthy and very productive relationship.
Yeah, so communicate together with them.
Yeah.
Let's, talk about it. I'll lay down this and you lay down this.
Putting Jesus himself at the center of the relationship.
So sorry that this was a Christian perspective, but you guys asked for our opinion and
it's the best
that's our
answer.
Opinion. Yes, it is actually the best.
Because we're the living witnesses of that.
Carla FLC asks, will you ever consider doing meet and greet with muses, or will you visit Indonesia? Yes, we'll definitely consider doing a meet and greet in Indonesia. Have we ever considered going in recent years?
Actually, we might have something in Indonesia because we have a lot of affiliation.
We'll perhaps do a little Southeast Asia tour.
It's quite probable, I'd say.
Yeah, because we're part of this organization called DNO, and there's a lot of conferences and stuff that we organize and are part of. So yeah, it's likely that we will, and we'll definitely let you know if we do, and we'd love to go visit Indonesia. Absolutely. Amanda Moo asks, how did you discover your passion or calling in life? I'm gonna let you answer that one.
You need to remain true to yourself. If you're an Asian person, you would absolutely share this perspective with me that you can't live for your parents. And then think that this is my life calling. You have to be very true to yourself, and you need to be able to answer yourself, your own question, whether I'm satisfied with where I am right now. If you ask me or Jen whether we are happy with our lives, I think we'll say yes. But we'll tell you that we're not there yet. The reason why I say this is that every single opportunity that we had to accept or disregard in our lives, we were very true to what we believe is our life desire and what we want to fulfill in our lives.
It's been hard though.
It's been very difficult.
Sometimes you have to try things here and there and get there.
Trial
and
and
realize
error.
that this is not for me. So don't be afraid of making mistakes on your path. I think that it's good to take not every opportunity, but most opportunities.
Yeah.
Try it out and see what you think of it. And if it's not for you, then you would have learned things from it anyway. So you'll always take things away from it, even if it was really hard.
Yeah.
So first of all, as William said, it's to recognize what you love to do, what your talents are, and what makes you really feel alive. Invest into that area and start to do things with it. It's a bit difficult because, you know, we're in a society where we live just a set system, like high school, university, like whatever. But a lot of the people who are actually most successful don't do it through a university degree. So I'd say if you have a heart that wants to become an entrepreneur one day, it's just start out and do things, take risks, but also stay true to yourself and don't just follow what other people around you want you to do. Really focus on what you want to do and what you would like to spend the rest of your life doing, because life is so precious. It's not worth wasting your time on things just for the pursuit of money or for the pursuit of making other people happy. You want to be happy yourself with your own life at the end of the day. So yeah, and we haven't exactly found out the end result of our passion and calling either. We're on our pathway there.
As I said, we're embracing every single opportunity, but we're trying to minimize us making mistakes.
Yeah, going around in circles or anything. So Insanity says, house tour and updated makeup collection storage. Yes, we'll definitely do. I have to still do my makeup collection properly. I haven't even sorted everything out in that room yet.
Yeah,
it's
your clothes as well, like we're all...
So we've got one more question and we'll do the rest in another episode.
Never again.
Pawan Park asks, here's a long one. How do you know if your expectations are too high when looking for a guy? Do you have any tips for a girl before you go into a relationship? There have been guys that say they like me, but I don't know if my expectations are just sky high or if I'm not prepared for a relationship at all. Oh wait, she asks as well. Also, what are your tips in keeping a close relationship with God while living in a busy, hectic, worldly society? This might apply to a lot of people. So.
Yeah, how do you know that your expectation is actually high? Because people cannot have too high of an expectation towards somebody. It's just that it's a matter of you haven't actually met somebody that you really click with.
Yeah, I agree with that question. You know what? When I was in high school and guys would be asking me out and stuff, and somehow I just felt like they're
great, but it's not my.
Yeah, like they'd be good looking, they'd be smart, they'd be. Some of them came from very rich families and they were just so nice to me, but I just felt like that it wasn't right. And I also like condemned myself thinking, am I just really like, have I got really high expectations? Am I just really mean and picky? But it wasn't.
It wasn't. And the reason why I ask you back is because you are such a precious person. Of course you need to have a high expectation. Any girl out there, they should have such a high expectation.
Yes, girl.
That nobody should be selling themselves really short for a guy. And there is somebody that you would really, really love to be with. And wait until that moment. Don't be hasty. And do not undersell yourself.
Because everyone's a unique person. There's someone very special and unique that matches you. You don't know it, but you're looking for that person. And so it's not about having low or high expectations. It's just a unique expectation from everyone else. And you just haven't met that guy yet. So that's what it is. Yeah, as William said, it's good to learn from your experiences, but don't just accept anybody because you'll waste your time, you'll waste your heart. You know, there are pieces of your heart that you give away and you can never get back. Even if someone really, really likes you and begs you to go out and you don't like them and you just want to give them a chance, I'd say not to do that. It's a waste of your time and you never know what could happen from that relationship. You might get really hurt from it and that affects how you do other things in the future as well. So that was my answer, super long.
And then,
do you have any tips for a girl before you go into a relationship?
I have a tip as a guy.
What?
Consult a lot of your girlfriends and look at the guy friends as well.
So involve the community, you're saying?
Yeah.
Involve your own community and involve the guys' community as well. Don't be lone rangers.
Yeah, and you don't need to listen to their opinion all the time.
Yeah.
But it is really good to have great feedback from the people who really care about you.
Yeah, from the people that care about you guys, not just random friends.
I think that's without just rushing in.
Good piece of advice. It
that's
depends how old you are, really, because
and how serious you are.
yeah, it depends on that. But if your heart feels right about it, then go for it. If you're feeling insecure, don't go for it because it's not going to be a healthy relationship. But you have to have peace in your heart. That's my biggest tip for all the girls out there, as a girl myself. And the last question was, what are your tips in keeping a close relationship with God while living in a busy, hectic, worldly society?
Should I go first? Living in God, to us, it is inseparable from what we do in our daily lives. It's not just for us, it's not just about going churches on Sundays or just listening to worship songs and read a few pages of Bible during the day. It's not segregated, separated. There's no distinction between what we do in our own daily work. Not something that we separately do for somebody up there.
That pretty much sums up how we live. That being said, we're not perfect, but the way that we view it is that God is real. Like, he's not a religion. He's not just a genie that's hovering around somewhere. But God is a real person. Like, William is a real person. So just like William is real, God is so real. He is the maker of this universe. He created us. He planned our lives. He knows what's in the past, present, and future. So if you know God in that really real way, you can't help but include him in all of your life because he created you. So no matter what you do, whether it's a religious work, church work, whether it's ministry or like mission trips or something completely to do with the religion of Christianity or whatever it is, or if it is your life, work, study, family, friends and relationships, include him all the time. So always talk to him, always be praying in your heart. I'd say that the most important thing would be, like, overcoming that would be to constantly try to think of him a lot. Read the word and remind yourself of what the word says. And just trusting God. So surrender everything to him and trust that God knows all of the details of your life. He's got everything planned, under control, in the palm of his hand. So trust him with it, surrender it to him, and then you'll just have peace no matter what you do, whether it's going to an interview for a job and just feeling anxious about your future. Just lay it down to him and you'll have an overall peace about everything that you do. So that would be our advice for that. We have so many other questions. I just read through a couple of them. There's just so many that I really want to answer, but I feel like this question and answer video is going to be way too long, so we're definitely going to have another heart-to-heart video.
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2. So if you would like us to answer those questions, leave it down in the comments below, and if you have ones that you see someone else write that you'd like us to answer, thumbs it up so that we can choose a couple of the top most requested ones for our next heart-to-heart. And it could be about anything. And yeah, basically we just want to be like your sister and brother, like your friends. We know that you guys all live busy lives and you don't always have time for YouTube. So I want these heart-to-heart videos to be something that's practical, but also gives some people like a sense of community, and if you're feeling lonely, that you can feel like you have a friend next to you. That's what I think. Yeah. 고마워, 오빠. So I hope you guys like this first video in our new house. It's almost done, but I'll put up vlogs on my second channel about how the progress is going. Make sure to like this video if you guys liked it, and leave your comments below, questions below, subscribe if you haven't already. So that's it for this video, guys. Stay posted, have a great week, and we'll see you guys in our next video together. Bye guys!
See ya!